Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. So it is January 2025, and once again I am doing the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. So I'm just going to show you what my working pantry and my short-term pantry looks like before I start this challenge. And in this video I'm going to give you a full tour of my cold room and my other pantry areas. So this is what I call my short-term pantry. Now this is just a closet in my actual home office, and this is where I store what I call short term. There's no Mylar bags or anything like that. It's just what I stock my kitchen pantry with. Okay, so in this other area we have some water. I call it the leaning tower of water. I was meaning to get some of those legs for that, but I couldn't find them anywhere. I'll have to start looking again for those. Please excuse my furnace is about to kick in again. Here is the water that I like to drink, the flavored water, and I only have 2 left, so that's definitely something I will be looking to stock up on pretty soon. And then some sodas that are left down there, and that's all he has left. That's hubby's favorite choice of soda. And then these buckets here pretty much stayed the same. Yeah, I opened up some of them, but I'll explain that in a minute. Here is like the everyday, we use it, fill it up in the things in the kitchen. Like this is sugar. This top one is about, you could probably see it right there. So I say probably about maybe 6 cups left in it. The bottom one's completely empty. That's a 6-gallon. This is a 5-gallon. Here had pasta in it. That's completely empty. This one had rice in it. That's completely empty. I did open up some of each of them, and the ones that I hadn't put into sort of Mylar long-term storage. I'm just using them right out of the box pretty much now. Here is all-purpose flour. This one I just filled up from these back here that have the Mylar bags in them. So this has some in them, and this one down here was packaged like this, and I have this one to use up as well. So both of these have flour in them. Even though I've gone through them, I've refilled them. This is bread flour. This is empty. I'm gonna look in these. I'm pretty sure I have more bread flour, but I just ran out of bread flour because I make my bread, and so I need to refill that. And down here is all-purpose flour again, and this is empty. This is icon flour, and I have a little bit of icon flour left. I'm trying to work out recipes to use icon flour. So for these back here, a lot of them have been broken open and stuff has been taken out. Like the old-fashioned oats, no longer in here. The muffin mix is no longer in here. I actually crossed it off. I should have crossed off the old-fashioned oats too, because I took that out as well. Because we ran out, and the muffin mix I wanted to try to use up before it went bad. And literally all of it that we did use was perfectly fine. So a lot of people were saying only the last 6 months, a year after the date. We were using it long past that, and it was fine. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Do your own research, basically. So there's no old-fashioned oats left in any of these. Like this one as well is gone. We have used up pretty much all of our oats except for what's in these plastic totes here. I haven't gone into those yet. So anything that has like breakfasty sort of things in here, we've used up the oats out of that, and the muffin mix I've taken completely out. And the next thing I was gonna start taking out was the pancake mix. This biscuit pancake mix, I'm gonna start taking that out. I took it out some, but not all of it. I'm gonna start taking that out and replenishing. Down here I just have some rices. I haven't gone into these yet. You see I have some more flour. I haven't gone into any of these in the front yet, because I had some that was easily accessible and I didn't really want to crack these open. These are probably the ones I should have cracked open first, and that was my problem. I'm not rotating as best as I could. I'm just going for convenience, basically. I had them there on my short-term Pantry, I call it. So I use them first, even though they were newer than say what's in these buckets. But what's in these buckets are sealed in Mylar bags or the vacuum seal bags, so they're more longer term. So I wanted to keep them that way. And yeah, so that's why I didn't go into these first. But after 2 years, I've had to start to break into these. Sugar, that's going to be my next one to start breaking in, because it's in the paper bag still, and I want to get to that. I had about 200 pounds of sugar that was just sitting in my Shortterm, the big 25-pound bags, and there was about 200 of those, 200 pounds. So actually there were 8 of those that I had. So I wanted to use them up, and that's what went into this bucket right here. And then I've used that up for the past 2 years that we haven't gone to the grocery store. So a lot of this stuff is a little picked over, and I need to go through all of it and bring out what is there, and then the new stuff I'm going to be replenishing it with needs to go into these buckets. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months, is just replenishing what's in these buckets, taking out what's in it, using that up, and replenishing with new stuff that I'm going to be purchasing. So that's all my bins, sugar in there, just a whole pile of things that I need to go over and see what I have. More sugar there, rice, beans, lentils, rice, mashed potatoes, yellow popcorn. I probably should bring that out because we're on our last bag of popcorn in our working kitchen pantry. So that's basically it for this area. So for this area, these are my wheat berries, and we haven't touched this at all because we had enough flour in the other bins, the other 5-gallon buckets, that we didn't have to touch any of this. So all of this is still the same as it was 2 years ago when we started this no grocery for X amount of months, which turned out to be 2 years from the very start. So this has been, as you can see, it was mostly packaged up in 2022, and that is probably the last time I had an Azure order. I wanted to get one that December, wanted to place one that December for January, but I actually missed the deadline by 7 minutes, and yeah, so I didn't get to place that order, and I haven't placed one since. So September, October, I think November was the last time I got anything from Azure, and I didn't get any wheat berries because I thought I had a pretty good stock of, I have white, hard white, soft white, and hard red. I think that's what it is. So we're pretty good on wheat berries, and I don't intend to get into this until like absolutely 100% I need to. Okay, so this is my main co-room. I'm going to take you through here. This is where all the home canned items are, store-bought canned items, basically pretty much everything that's not in my short-term pantry or my working kitchen pantry. So I'm going to start up here. We went through all the sodas. There used to be sodas here. There is apple juice. Now, let me see if I can reach one of these apple juices. I saw a video where they said that apple juice was one of the things that she didn't think was going to be, because of the tariffs that are coming as of January 20th, that apple juice wasn't going to be affected because she didn't think apple juice came from out of the country. So, we actually ship our apples out of the US to other countries like China, which is going to have a tariff supposedly as of January 20th, and they process them and then ship them back as concentrate, which then companies like Mutt's and others turn into apple juice. And if you look at your apple juice, you can see this is a Mutt's apple juice, 100% juice, But I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can get this. See what that says? Concentrate from US and Ukraine. That one says. Now I'm going to pull down another one and I'm going to show you what it says. Okay, so I pulled down this Mutz one, and this one is right on the front. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of a glare, but that says concentrate from US, Chile, and China. If you can see that. So not only the US, but Chile and China. So yes, these may be bottled in the US and so they can say made in the US, but a lot of the ingredients, a lot of the raw ingredients, a lot of the components that go into apple juice, cars, phones, everything, steel even, is produced outside of the US. Lumber, they may chop down the trees here, but they're transported to mills maybe in Canada and then transported back here. So should the tariffs come into play, yes, these things are going to go up, including apple juice. Enough of that is said. The rest is, this was I think this was Snapple, and then I had some pineapple juice in front of it. I think that's what I had there. But after 2 years of not going to the grocery store, as you can see, we've used quite a bit of that. All the sodas that we don't typically drink, but I guess as a sweet treat, we drink it occasionally. Some juices over here. I usually, I wanted to save this grape juice to try and make jelly out of it. And I think I'm going to be doing that here in the next few months. I'm not going to commit to it because I have so much on my list to do that it might be a little bit before I get to that. Snapple, the kiwi strawberry, that's my favorite. Please excuse the water line for my dishwasher that I don't use. And that's my favorite, so they stay away from that. Here is just some like Powerades and stuff. There was a lot more of those, but we were drinking them. I used to try and save them for like when we're sick and dehydrated and we needed something, but pretty much the last 2 years nobody's really been sick. So we were just drinking them like if we're out and about and it's a hot day or we're out in the park or whatever, or sports or whatever they needed, they would drink a Powerade. Here was the milk. There's no milk left. Here was cream. Actually a couple of cases of evaporated milk. I call it cream. And as you can see, that's completely empty. Here was some butter. Where this one, and how many is left in there? Let's see, 2, 4, 6 of these are left of butter. I've been going into my freezer for butter because we had 2, 4, maybe 8 of these cases of butter, and this is all that's left of them. That's like garlic butter and onion butter. This is some tallow, some ghee that I haven't really touched. I've touched a few of them, probably about 4 of them in the last 2 years, but I was using butter more than anything else. Here is my vinegar that I have left. I pulled, I think, 2 bottles from another location to put up here. They were like my backup to my backup, and this is all I have left. Usually I have 2, 4, 6 up here, so there's 1 missing. Probably about 4 in the last 2 years that I've gone through. Probably more than that, I'm thinking now. Yeah, probably more than that, because I think I had 6 backup and I only have 5 left. So yeah, definitely more than that. So about 7 in the last 2 years that I've gone through for vinegar, because I use it for everything, not just for I wash my dishes in it, I clean with it, everything. So that's the vinegar I have left after 2 years. So I'm going to try not to swing you around too much, but let's go back down this way and we'll work our way down. So here is my home canned tomato products. Now it looks kind of full, which is kind of is, but it's full because last year my garden did so-so, and we did fresh eating. I wanted to plant for fresh eating, and I had tomatoes popping up all over the place that I did not plant. I literally planted 6 or 8 plants just for fresh eating. I didn't want to can anything because I knew my freezers had a lot of tomato in them that I needed to process. And this is some of the ones I processed. This is some tomato juice, as you can see. This one was processed in January of 2023. So that would have been tomatoes from the 2022 growing season that I had in my freezer. And that's what this all is. This came from that. I pretty much have nothing left from before 2023 except for this one. I will never do this again. I pretty much said, I'm pretty sure I said that before. I will never do this again. We didn't like them, and I just sneak them in here and there, and that's the last jar of that, I'm pretty sure. And then I have some salsa, some enchilada sauce. This is actually hot sauce that I canned, and it is so hot. Yeah, you just need a little dab of that, and it burns your mouth. It's that hot. And this was from our garden from 2023, from the peppers that came out of the garden. And yeah, that's why they're left there, because they're that hot. Back there is just salsas from 2021. I think that's the last one. We had so much of it, and we slowed down on eating it because I think we just got maybe sick of it. It was so much. It was this green salsa that I had so many green peppers left. Well, as you can see, pretty much empty back there. I had so many green tomatoes left that I made green salsa. It was easy to make, get rid of the green tomatoes and not do this with them, and we liked them. But after 3 years of eating on them, yeah, I have a lot left, just to say. So down here to the meat section, this is ham. Here is bacon. I don't know, you can't really see that, but back there is bacon as well that I canned last year. This came from our Christmas ham last year that was a little bit left, and I just canned it up. And I will be showing, well, I'm not going to show it, but I will be doing that again this year because we have some ham left over. I put it in the freezer, and I'm going to can it up. I'm just going to can it up. Here is some pork, just some ground pork, and this is from 2021. We're working through this. This was full. It was 2 or 3 cases deep. And this is brand new for last year. And this chicken, I only have these 2 cans left from chicken, and I actually got chicken this year actually last year. It's 2025 now that I'm actually recording this. Actually, it's December 30th, but we'll call it 2025. And this, I got a really good deal at a restaurant supply store, and I picked up, I think it was about 50 pounds or so of chicken, and canned it up. So that's what all this is back here. All the other chicken that we have gone through it. Here is some chicken, whole chicken that has the bones in it that we did back in August of 2022. That is potatoes that came from our garden that I dry canned, and I didn't soak them very well. I think next time I do this, I'll soak them overnight, because as you can see down the bottom, there's some starch. But I prefer the dry canning method. I prefer them this way. Just the texture of them is a lot better. Even for frying, I like them better this way. So yeah, this is where we normally keep our hamburger, our ground beef. We have none of that. It's all gone. We use probably between that and chicken are the 2 main meats that we eat. So all of that is gone. Here was turkey. We have no turkey left. It's I haven't done turkey in a while. Probably in I'm gonna say probably since last Thanksgiving when we had turkey, and I probably canned up some that was left over. This was pork that I had gotten when I got this chicken here at the restaurant supply place. I did a video on that about the Mississippi pot roast, and I just canned up. This is all that's left of the Mississippi pot roast. I think I did 7. That's what my pressure canner holds. I did 7 of those, and I did 8 of just pork, and they were in the pint size, and that's all gone. And that's all we have of the pork pot roast. This is beef. These are jams up the top. They're another project, but this is beef that we have, and there's about, let's say, 3, 6. There's 7 left. And these were stacked 2 or 3 high. 2 high at least for all of them. So this is all the meat we have left after 2 years of home canned meat. This is not all of our protein, but just the meat that we have that I home canned. Up here, this is the last jar of the cowboy candy, and I've been savoring this. As you can see, it's been a while, and I'm like, don't touch it, don't eat it, that's mine. It's so good. I definitely have to grow some more jalapenos that I can make this again. This is the last jar of cream cheese that I have canned, and this was back in 2022. Let's see, what month? December of 2022 is when I canned that. Just some banana peppers again, and that's why we did this. That's why I did. That was the main reason for doing this and extending it this long, among other things, was to rotate out. I found for myself that we were eating our favorites, and if we ran out, yes, we went to the next thing, but we weren't really eating everything across the board evenly. And when I restocked it, because that's what I was doing, I was just plugging the holes, and we were eating that same thing over and over again. So I'm going to get to this, but I want to show you. This is completely empty. Now, I swung you over here because peaches. We love peaches in our household. And every time I saw like a case of peaches, I would go out and I would purchase another case of peaches and refill it. Well, the peaches were going before everything else of the fruit because we like peaches so much. So when I restock this year, I will be getting more peaches than anything else, any of the other fruits that we normally stock. So up here, back to the banana peppers and the peppers. This is all we have left. There's some hot peppers there. No pizza sauce left. Yeah, we like pizzas. We probably do them about 2 or 3 times a month. I try to not do them every week, but they're healthier than if we would have ordered them, so I don't mind them so much. So there's no pizza sauce. I did do a couple and there's none left. Here is the last of the caramelized onions, and I'm like savoring it. I want to do a pot roast and put it on that. This one is from October of 2022, and it's the last one left. All of this is either celery or Swiss chard that I use like celery. So this was actually 3 and 3 deep. So 2 cases have gone, and there's a few missing in each of them. This is probably celery or Swiss chard. This one's full and the bottom one's full, but I can tell the difference. This is big. That is actually celery, and I'll show you the Swiss chards, and you can see the difference. That's Swiss chard. That's the stalks of the Swiss chard, which I use just like celery. So, and why does that say celery? Because that's what I wrote. I'm tricking the family. Don't tell anybody. I'm tricking the family to think that this is, because hubby is like, I don't really like Swiss chard. He doesn't know what he's eating. He really doesn't. I put it in a meal and he'll eat it. He just doesn't like the fact that it is Swiss chard, and he thinks that that's not that great, because I usually serve it like this. This is some other Swiss chard, and I'm finding that he doesn't like it like this. But if I put it in like a casserole or a lasagna or something like that, he'll eat it like spinach, not a problem. He likes spinach, but he doesn't like Swiss chard, as he says. So I treat it as spinach. I'll chop this down more because I rough chop this. I'll chop it down even more and mix it with some spinach, which is right there. And can you tell the difference? Swiss chard, spinach. Swiss chard, spinach. Yeah, looks the same. So what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll combine them and I'll grind them down. I'll put them in a blender and blend them, and he won't be able to know the difference. So yeah, this is Swiss chard, but I labeled it celery, so when I send somebody down, they'll just bring this up and I'll just use it as celery. I know the difference because you can tell the difference of how big and small it is. But that's all I have for celery and Swiss chard, which I call celery, the stalks of the Swiss chard. So I've shown you the butter. This is some table cream that I have now. When I had it up here, it kind of got lost and I'm gonna try it. It has expired, but it seems pretty liquidy still. I'm gonna open up, because I brought these to the front. I want to open up and smell them taste them and see if they're still good, and I'm going to use them in a meal. But they have expired, I want to say 2017. Can you see that? Yeah, that says 2017 they're expired. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do a taste test, a smell test, and everything else on that before I use that. But I will be using that up in the next say week or so in this Pantry challenge. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I am doing the 3 Rivers Pantry challenge. Even with my pantry looking like this, I can definitely feed my family for the next 2 months on what I have here. And I'll show you my I showed you my working kitchen pantry and my short-term, what I call short-term pantry. So over here I have, from the garden, it is carrots. Now, most of them I did in water, and the other ones I did in a DIY onion soup mix. Now, I don't know why, but sometimes I just want the plain ones, and that's what we use most of. And most of the thing that's left is the ones in, can you see that? That's onion soup mix. So yeah, that has the onion in them. Maybe because I use onion, and then this is like maybe a little overpowering with the onion and the onion I put in. And I don't remember that that I don't have any of our home canned onions left, carrots left without the onions. So I guess I should pull them out first, maybe next time. So this is pumpkin squash. Just looking at this jar back there. This is pumpkin squash, like I said. Over here is a couple of things of Swiss chard, and there's another thing of spinach, and that's all I have left from the garden. Back there are 2 jars of beets. I'm the only one in the family that likes beets, so I pickled some beets probably about, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, and I've just been eating them when I have a hankering for them. So in 2021 is when I did that, and I think I did either 4 or 6, and I have 2 left. Here's some beans from the garden. I didn't really get anything this year, and last year wasn't that great either. And yeah, so this is the last 2 I have that are from our garden, and that was 2 years ago. Yeah, September of 2022. That's when I did those. So down here I have some kind of dark, but there's sweet relish. It's been a while. So July of 2022 I did sweet relish, and that's what's in that there. These are, and as you can see, you remember I said I don't like these labels, and I really don't. As you can see, that is so faded you can't even see what it is, but it's bread and butter pickles that I have done, and this one is old because I stopped using these labels. I want to see if I can see what date is on there. It looks like 6 of 2016. So yeah, that's old. Old. And back there I did some more bread and butter pickles because I didn't know what else to do with my cucumbers at the time, and that's what I did. So this is the last one that needs to be used up, and then those cases are bread and butter pickles, some of them. I'm trying to see what else is back here. Try not to. That's more relish. That's zucchini relish, and this is the ones with the cucumbers. So I have both. That one looks kind of nice, actually. Yeah, I'll have to sneak that in because that's been a while. I haven't done that in years. So yeah, you see? Yep, 2016. And you can see my lid is going rusty. I don't have the best situation down here. It's quite, I will say, damp at times, and it's a lot colder than the rest of the house. So yeah, I try to keep those, can you see those little things down here spread around? And we do have a dehumidifier running in the rest of the basement, but it doesn't seem to be able to pull everything it needs to out, because these things, placed a couple of these around and they need to be changed probably. Let's see, does this have any water in it? As you can see, it has very little water in it, just a little bit in there. The other one I pulled out, it was full. So yeah, maybe it's working. So that's it for my relish, my bread and butter pickles. This is just some brine that I use for, what did I use this for? Sweet relish. Just extra brine that I just, if I ever make it again, why do I need to? I don't know if you can see this, like 5 pints of brine there. Why would I throw that away? I just process it, and I'll use it for even refrigerator pickles, what I call refrigerator pickles. Basically, you just cut them up, put a brine over, put them in your refrigerator, and eat them out of there. We do that all summer long. And maybe I'll just use that brine. I have to remember that it's down here. That's the problem. I forget that things are down here, and then they sit for years, and they don't get used up. But anyway, so down here is the home canned fruit. The very end, that's pineapples. I have some peaches, which I done last year or the year before, 2022. So there's some peaches. There's some apples. There's some peaches here. I have 2 of these jars left. You can see they're down at discolored, and they're feels so okay, but I did these so long ago, 2016. Opened up one not too long ago, and it was delicious. So I have 2 more that I need to use up before I use those other ones up. Here is my pie filling. Yeah, there is, let's see if I can pull this out. There is 1 apple left, and there's 2 blueberry left, and that's all I have for pie filling left. Yeah, that's it. Down here I have white sugar and white sugar, both in Mylar bags in the container. Here I have some honey. There's a couple of half-gallon jars left. Here is all the jams and jellies, apple butter, peach jam, grape jam, corn on the cob jelly. Yep, I did that. It tastes pretty good, even though I can't get the rest of the family to eat it, so I'm slowly working through it. This is just a simple syrup that I did when I did apples that was left. And yeah, I think that was from apples. But it's a simple syrup that I just canned up. It was extras left over, and I canned them up. This is applesauce, the best applesauce I've ever made. Ever. It tastes so delicious. And I have only a couple left. 3 left. And yeah, they'll be gone in no time. There's some blueberry syrup. I don't know if you can see that, but I need to make room in my freezer. Probably about 2 years ago now. And I don't know if you can see that there's blueberries in there, and I just made a simple syrup and canned them up. This is a peach syrup, and I haven't done those in a while. But just the syrups and jellies we have left. This is some more peach syrup. And we'll just replenish our jams and syrups as we go, because the condiment that goes with jam has been out for the last 6 months. So we have been going light on the jams since then. So on this shelf we have all our broths: chicken broth, beef broth, ham broth, and vegetable broth. So down the bottom here I have a little bit of beans that I do need to replenish. And I also need to replenish our chili beans. Over here I have my homemade vinegars. That's what I have here. And then I have some homemade wine. And then here I have my eggs. Now we ran out of eggs completely, and I've actually used the farmer's market to replenish our stock of water glass eggs, and that's what you're seeing here. And I don't know if you see those 2 jars on the end on the right hand side. They look kind of cloudy. They're really supposed to be clear, and that's what I like about a glass jar. You can see what's going on with it. They're a little cloudy, so I think after this video I'm going to check and see exactly what's going on with those 2 jars. Something might have cracked, and an egg might be compromised. So up here is where we normally keep our peanut butter, the one we like the best. As you can see, it is empty, and it has been for about 6 months. We have been using some powdered substitute. It's not as nice as the peanut butter we like to eat, and that's the one from Market Pantry. But otherwise than that, the powder is good in a pinch. So here we have our store-bought chicken. They are 2 high and 2 deep. There's 10 on the top shelf and 7 cases on the bottom shelf. And then we have tuna fish and sardines and salmon and ham, spam, luncheon meat, Vienna sausages, and various other proteins on this shelf. So in this area, I have all my store-bought tomato products, my tomato sauce, my tomato paste, crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, you name it, I've got it on this shelf, tomato-wise. Now, this is still pretty stocked because I had tomatoes in my freezer, which I turned around and made tomato sauce out of, tomato paste, tomato juice. So I didn't really have to go into this too much, and I won't have to restock it. But if you think that I could can these and get them out of these tin cans, do you think that's a good idea, and should I do that? So this next area is where I'll definitely be focusing on in the next few days for sure. This is where we kept our store-bought fruits and our store-bought vegetables, and I will be restocking that in short order. Within the next, I would say, week, that's going to get restocked fully if I can. So up here we have coffee. Now we won't have to touch this probably for the next, I would say, 6 months or so. We have some steel upstairs in our short-term pantry, and I think that will last us probably about 6 months, and we'll probably got about a year's worth up here. There is also some instant coffee up there and some drink mix like Tang we haven't touched. So here's the peanut butter powder that we have been using in replacement for our other peanut butter. I have one in the Augustin Farms as well, which I haven't opened yet. But I think we're going to go back to our old one once we finish this powder one, because we just like the other one. We don't eat the powder, but we just like the Market Pantry better for, say, sandwiches and that sort of stuff. So the bouillon powder you see here, we have beef and a chicken, I believe, is there. It was not touched because we had some smaller containers that I worked through, and I actually have quite a few more of those, so we haven't had to touch these bigger ones. Okay, so right next to it is what I call our survival foods, if you will. This is something we will not touch unless it's the absolute last thing there is to eat. Now everybody's like rotate and whatever. No, this stuff we're leaving to the very last. We opened a bag, we tried it, we liked it, so I bought more. So everybody in the family has at least 2 bags each, and then I have those 10, number 10 cans that I kind of don't prefer them, because if I open them and we don't eat through it, it's like we have to eat through it just to keep it fresh. So I would rather the smaller portions, like the individual portion bags, and that's what I got. Maybe I should have bought more of those because we do like them. And also with these number 10 cans and these what I call survival foods, a lot of this stuff we actually did take to a off-grid bug out location, so we don't have a lot still left here at the house, which is kind of good and kind of bad, but at least we have our food stores separated out between a couple of places. So as far as the rest of the store-bought stuff, as you can see, that's Aunt Jemima pancake syrup there. I think we used 1. There's about 4 or so left. I think we prefer the maple syrup now. I think we used 2 or 3 maple syrups, probably about 3 or 4 of the molasses, and probably 1 of the corn syrups, just to make candy and sort of things. We used a couple of pumpkins, but I did get pumpkins out of the garden, so we used a lot of that in our baking for baking cookies and pies and that sort of stuff. Cornstarch, baking soda, I did use quite a bit of that, so I have a little bit of that left down here. So here we had the honey. We went through quite a bit of that. I used it in baking breads, cookies. I like to put it in my tea, so we went through quite a bit of honey. I also went through, I think it was, I'll have to look at my paper, but about 4 of the coconut oil. I've been replacing vegetable oil. I haven't bought I haven't bought anything, but I haven't bought vegetable oil in so long, probably before that. I don't use a lot of vegetable oils. I usually use butter, and I don't really deep fry anything. I'm probably done fried chicken probably about 4 times in my whole married life, so I don't use a lot of oil even before this. I would probably use butter, lard for anything that I was frying necessarily. So I've probably gone through, I would say, about maybe 2 to 3 of these big coconut jars, and one of them I did use for making soap. I've been making a lot of soap here of late, so that's what I've been using the majority of it up in. So I went through 2 olive oils in the last 2 years, and I've gone through several cases of water. I have 2 left. Probably going through about, I'm going to say, about 15 to 20 cases of water in total for the last 2 years, as well as using some of those 1-gallon jugs that you saw earlier. So these little single serve mixing juice drinks, I call them, that box was full, actually was running over. There was probably about 5 extra on the top, and this is what we've used it down to in 2 years. So here is where we had some extra ready-made things like soups, SpaghettiOs, that kind of thing. A good bit has gone. There's probably, I would say, about 4 cases that is missing from here. Here is our condiments. We didn't go through that much relish because I had a lot of home canned relish. We completely ran out of mayonnaise. We did go through a few things of barbecue sauce, but I make my own barbecue sauce, so we have some left. Ketchup, we had a great bit of it, and we have a good bit left. Now these ready-made sauces and stuff, we started out going through a lot of them, and then we slowed up. Like I said, kind of like our taste change. We did different things, and I was just making our own sauces and stuff, so I didn't really use a whole lot of the store-bought sauces. So down here we had 6 of the quart size cases of potatoes, and we have 1 single jar left of that. The Everclear I just used for tinctures and such. The sports drinks is just something we like to have in the summertime, so there's a few of those left. So over this side, I just have some more Everclear for tinctures, and that is apple pie moonshine that I made for a friend, and they will be picking that up. And then over the back, I just have some more home canned chicken with the bones in it. So I don't know about you, but I feel such an urgency, and it was confirmed today from a friend. Now I heard this before, and then I just got another confirmation, like something's talking to me. A dear friend of mine, and she said the same thing. So not only will I be restocking what I call my cold room, my long-term storage area, but I will be stocking up for my short-term pantry. I won't be using it in this pantry challenge, but I will be stocking this enough to where I can completely fill this area as well, and not just my long-term cold room pantry. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and remember, stay safe and keep prepping.